In 1971, John Rawls wrote a very famous book, Theory of Justice. In his work, basically, he discussed about the ideas of justice. He gave several principles and defined what is the meaning of justice. And he famously argued justice is the first virtue of any social institution. So let's suppose you want to set up an institution. You have to first ensure justice in the particular institution. If a society fails to establish justice in the institution, then the institution will not survive for long. You might ask the question how? Look at the Syrian government. What went wrong in Syria? The Syrian government led by Bashar al-Assad failed to ensure justice in the society, and ultimately the same people of the Syria toppled the government. So this will create chaos and instability in the society. This idea of John Rawls inspired the Indian constitution makers as well. And this is the reasons why, just open the page of the preamble, you will find justice as a first characteristic mentioned at a top position in the preamble. It is not about liberty, it is not about justice, it is not about equality, it is the justice. So justice is the topmost virtue of any institutions. So this has been mentioned in the Indian preamble as well. Rawls' argument going further as well. Rawls says, if you want to distribute the resources of any state, what type of these resources? For example, wealth, education, health resources. If you want to distribute these resources, you have to ensure in such a fashion, you have to distribute in such a fashion so that the least section of the society will get the maximum benefit. Why? Because otherwise it will create chaos and instability in the society. And he further argued like the entire society is like a long chain. And in this long chain, if even a single link is weak, this will make the entire long chain inefficient and incapable, and you cannot bind anything. So in order to strengthen this chain, in order to make a robust chain, you have to work on the weakest link of this chain. The Parliament of India, time and again, reformed several times Indian constitution in order to realize the dream of the justice in Indian society in a true sense. For example, the year 1992, Parliament introduced 73rd Constitution Amendment. What Parliament did? Parliament introduced a Panchayati Raj institution in the grassroots level to realize the grassroots democracy so that people can realize the democracy. The same way, Prime Minister launched Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. And today, more than 80 crore people are taking benefit of this scheme through PDS systems. Why? In order to ensure justice. It is said that a society needs more charity, which has less justice. On the same principles, the same Parliament introduced 106th Constitution Amendment. And what Parliament did? Parliament introduced Nari Shakti Adhiniyam for adequate representation of women in the Parliament. So, in the same way, we have the 15th subclause 4, popularly we call it reservations, introduced just after the commencement of the constitution in 1951. So Indian constitution, Indian parliament is always trying to ensure justice in Indian society in several ways, to reforming and molding the entire constitution, making the several policies to realize this dream of John Rawls. And very famously, the current Prime Minister also gave a slogan of inclusive growth, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. The reason is simple, to create a stable, peaceful and equal society. And this is the important for an inclusive growth of entire nation. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.